Okay.
Okay, so welcome to our webinar 0.7. Oh, just wanted to make it bigger. Here we are. So, webinar 0.7, exciting times,
Yes.
yeah? So, it has been actually a good few weeks, I feel, that getting into this system or the structure of doing our weekly webinars on the Sunday, actually, I feel is very nice, and normally we get to see a lot of you here as well, so it's really nice to connect with you and yeah, and just see how it's going for you. So I can see today so far nobody jump on, but let's see if later on there will be somebody. I know that Diego and Katja is still on the webinar with import export, so that's interesting for them. To see what is happening in that path. But let's just do ours once today.
Yes.
So
let's go straight into
what we want to talk about. Yeah.
Yes.
So the first thing which is very exciting is that there was the visionary call from Stuart and Jay and the team leaders, and they have launched all the new modules inside the SFM dashboard. And instead of being 5 modules, now it's 7 modules. A different package, an all-in package they are testing at the moment, instead of the usual way how you get in with the first app and then afterwards getting in as an essential member. So there is new things coming and new things changing, and it's all for the better, right? So this is what is really exciting for us, and we really look forward to test this as well with the new ad that we are launching tomorrow. So that's gonna be awesome. What is important is that I actually just went in through now and had a look at those new modules just to check what it is and to see if there's anything really new coming up, and obviously there is. Otherwise they would launch.
Yes.
So
just a quick thing for those who doesn't know what is a visionary call. It's a call that SFM team and founders Stuart and Jay, they're actually running a webinar on the first Thursday of every month.
Yes.
So with they are doing this is like to give appreciation for those who are achieving great result, and for those who are completing 90 days video journey, and like has happened also launching this new platform like few months ago, like with mentors, and just this last week with those new modules that they launched.
Yeah, so all the new things which is happening within the company, which will have a, let's say, a change in us or in the structure of the company, and the vision, basically the bigger picture, the vision. They're very transparent in everything they do, and I really like that. And it's actually very motivational to watch those calls, and definitely I recommend you do it. We never actually watch it live because it's always doing the nighttime for us.
Yes.
But we watch it the day after, and it's still great. So yeah, so
usually it's quite long, 2 hour plus, but you can split it up through how you prefer. There's no
actually that's the good part as well by watching it the replay instead of watching it live, is that in case you can scroll over some of the parts which maybe you don't need. Anyway, so coming back to the modules, this is the most important actually message of today, is that the module 6 and module 7, they are brand new modules, and it's talking about planning your promotions. Module 6 and module 7 is about marketing. So it's about how you market your message, how to acquire customers, and all of these things. So I think it's really awesome that they have let's say updated them. Some of the videos in the old modules was Stuart, maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago probably. You could see he was very young and stuff, but well, he still is, but younger at least. And yeah, I think it's really awesome that they're doing these things. So I will definitely, and we will definitely go through the modules once again, because it's now 1.5 years since we actually went through our modules and our journey and our start of this whole thing. So so I just started now with module 3, because module 1 and module 2 are same. So I started from module 3, and I'm gonna go all the way until module 7, just to recap, understand what is going through, and and so that I can also answer, and I know that what you guys are going through when you come in. So that's really, really exciting. So that was just the news that we wanted to say. And also kind of how do you say, if you have already been through, let's say, module 4, module 5, we really recommend that you actually go back to module 3 and start from there again, and watch what you haven't watched, because better to be up to date.
Yeah, pure update. Like, this up to date is the best thing you can ever get, and those are strategy and things that you will learn that has been tested recently. So basically, you will get the best of the best.
Yes.
Which is pretty powerful. I would like to share with you also that I'm going through, as I mentioned also last week, did I?
Yeah.
This bulletproof YouTube ed course, which is impressive.
Very, very powerful.
Very powerful, and you can do it as a private, or you can do it even. They are sharing skills with you also, even for agency. And they are really going deeper on how you can acquire customer in the online platform like YouTube, and I guess it's pretty deep in all the other. Yeah, I just wanted to share this.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. That's really, really good. Yeah, so Davide, he's doing this because we're launching our new ad tomorrow, so that's interesting and exciting, right? Looking forward. Yeah, so anyway, it's always a learning curve, and it's really, I really like it, because it's like you can never be perfect, which is actually good, because you keep growing, you keep searching, you keep evolving and changing and understanding better and more, and like it's really like a continuous search basically. So I like that. Anyway, so that was just the first part. We just wanted to make sure that that we say it to you guys, and that you can also go in and check the modules yourself. And yeah, then actually we wanted to speak with the guys who was there on the last week's course, just to hear any feedback, if you did any of the avatar exercises. But I guess that we need to skip that, since still nobody jumped on. So we will go through that, and let's go to what do we actually want to spend the most of the time on today, which is
basically
money.
How you spend your money. Now, to give you a little bit of a background of how did I came that I now today know more or less how to manage your finances. It's that we went straight on into a property investment course, where we basically learn how to invest with property on a professional level. And everything started by reading To Reach That Poor Dad, which we highly recommend to read it, because it's another view, another perspective of how really the rich are thinking, and why poor keep being poor and rich are getting richer. And simply an understanding of how money works, and it's a purely something that they don't teach you in school, not even in university, I guess. I'm not so sure. But so the best thing that I can explain, and is so clear to my mind, is understanding what is an asset and what is a liability. Now, asset is what make you money, keep bringing you money. A liability is those things that are taking from your money. So it's, for example, a car. You buy a brand new car. First of all, you should consider that once you buy and they give you the key, the value of the car drop already down to 50%. So it's not an investment at all. Beside that, that car will have some cost on a monthly basis: insurance, any wheels, and any issue might have on the way, and blah blah blah. So
even petrol.
So it's an expense that you might consider into your budget. So for some of you, the car might be a necessity, something you need for go to work and make other money, which is fairly fine. But if you will be presented to a choice whether I would buy a Mercedes or whether I would buy a Fiat 500, they will bring you both to work, but they have definitely a different price that you can save and invest for something that will bring you more money. And the liability is a car, and the asset, for example, is something that brings you money. Like that can be an investment you did, a property you bought, and you're renting out. You're not living inside. You're renting out, or you're buying and sell it, and this make you an income or a digital business, something that you're building and is working and produce money for you. Yeah, that's just the first thing that I want to share.
Or stock market or different things. Like there's many things you can invest your money into that eventually will give you money back, and that's all. So it's still an expense. So don't get us wrong, like an asset is still an expense at the present moment, but that expense will create then more money, like more income for you. So that's the difference.
And you wanna continue?
No, go ahead. And Davide, he loves, right? You love this talk about money.
This
so
is the first things that I learned, and when I was 19, I read the book, and this changed my whole perspective about my life. I understood why my family suffer about money, because they didn't know about that. They didn't know how money does work.
They still don't know, even though we tried to.
Yes. For Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the book, for his ideal world, money should work for you rather than you work for money, which is a pretty strong statement. And I loved it from the first very moment I read it. And because it's not about making a lots of money, but it's what you do with money that is more important to me. Is what do you, yes, once you're gonna earn this money that you wished, what you're gonna do with this money. I don't want simply to let them stay in the bank account and just feel rich. It's not that, but it's what those money will allow me to do. Travel with my family, not being stuck with a job that I hate, that I need to be there for having a paycheck. And this is,
No, just I think that what you're trying to explain is that it's not about being rich just to be able to brag or to be able to buy a rich house or car, whatever. It's not in the material sense. It's more in the sense that we can actually be able to live the lifestyle that we really want to live, so it's about being able to provide for your family, being able to like buy the things that whoever your son or your daughter needs, like being able to not having to, let's say, worry all of these things. So yeah, anyway, are you letting in?
There's a person who would like to jump in. And let me see. It's asking for a password.
Great. Maybe we should write that then in the group next time, huh, Davide? It's S W grande N piccolo 8. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so let's continue with this thing. So basically, we wanted to today guide you through a little bit a way how you can actually how do you say, divide your income, the income that you have right now, so that you have a better understanding of where your money actually goes out. And actually, the reason why I really wanted to do this today is because I spoke with my brother, and he just bought a new car. And my brother, he is a salesperson, so he's earning quite a lot of money on a monthly basis, and he gets bonuses a lot. And my brother, he he's let's say a very outgoing person, a very fun person, and he really just loves spending money as well. So he just bought himself a new car, and I was like, why did you just do that? So that's why we today really wanted to speak about money and how to let's say, how to say
understand
understand where
really,
where the money goes. But let me just say hello, Dorothy. Hello, nice to see you.
Hold on, maybe I need to unmute you.
Oh yes, can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes, very much.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Everything all right?
Yes, everything is perfect.
Cool. Okay, if you don't mind, we will keep going with the conversation.
Yeah, sure.
And then any
questions or any feedback
Absolutely.
from this week or whatever, you just, in the end, we can talk about that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So the expense, we're talking about money and where your income kind of floats out. So basically, when you have the income that comes in, we kind of like to put it into 3 buckets. And the first bucket is the living expenses. So of course you have rent, you have food, you have your house, like you have your insurance, you have phone, you have like all of these kind of necessities that you can't take away. We actually at last year we actually took our rent away and we started living just in our luggage or in rooms and sofas in our parents' houses and crashed different places. And let's say it's not recommendable.
No, it's not.
Having a house is pretty important, but that was necessary at that point in order to get money for some of the other things that we wanted. But anyway, this is kind of, let's say, necessities, right? So you have that type of expenses, which obviously we will talk about in a second. Then you have your saving bucket, which we really recommend that you start creating if you're not having it at the moment. And the reason for it is because you never know any expenses that comes like that. You know, you never know if we actually tried at one point, we were renting a car in London and we crashed with the car and we suddenly had to, pay up a lot of money in front. And actually in the end with the insurance companies, you never know if you get full refund of the things. Luckily in this case, it was not our fault. It was actually the other driver's fault. And luckily everything went well. But if it would have been our fault, that would have been money out like that, or a new bed like that, or I don't know, water damage in your basement. There's so many things that can go wrong in doing your life and doing your day, and it's really important to have, let's say, some saving money, so in case that happens, at least you're not
yes,
you don't have to get, let's say, be homeless or something
yes.
like that.
Also, another great, especially in this period, we are seeing that COVID is going longer than expected. Who knows, will be 6 months or 1 year or even more.
Yeah.
I really do not hope that will go that long, but we can't control those things. So it's important to actually be prepared and to having aside at least 6 to 10 months of living expenses. So it means that you can keep on living for the next 10 months while you are finding something else to work your way out of this situation or wherever. People might lose jobs and they will be
jobless
for
half
3 months, half a year, who knows. Maybe they will find the week after, but this is all it's important to find safety and stability, that in case something goes wrong out of our own control, we are ready to fight back. And we are not striving and put ourselves in a situation with shoulder back into the wall simply because we don't have enough finances to actually survive in the next period. So with the peace in mind, your choices, everything you start to think, and all the opportunity that come across, you start to think much more clear into your brain, because you don't have this pressure about how can I survive. So you will survive for the next 10 months, Now just focus on how can I make this side business or find new clients or wherever it is to go back on track. This is very important.
Yeah. So that's the saving bucket. And then the last bucket is what we would like to call growth bucket. And that's then all the investments that goes into that one. So every time when you have a salary, it's very important that you actually split up your salary in those 3 buckets, because if you don't do it, at the end of the month, you just spend it all on coffee dates, cinema trips and gifts and different shopping clothes, all of these things, which is of course really, really nice, and it's also part of life. So it's not that you don't have to have it, but just bear in mind that first you actually split out your salary, and then afterwards with the extra money that you will have, you can do all of these things.
Yes, and this primarily depends on which stage of life you are in. For example, I need to work my way up to achieve my success. I have no rich parents, I have no support, I am on my own, we are on our own. So what is important is that we are really working our way out of this let's say worry situation, and luckily we are getting much better compared
where we started from.
Wow. But has been a process, has been a journey where we make choices that we knew it was tough back in the time, but the reward is so much bigger now, because you start to really live on your terms, because you work harder before. And this might sound crazy, but like for me, I for a long time I another word, rinunciare.
Yeah, you let go, or you didn't do. Let's say rinunciare means
I can't find the English.
You give up on something. Rinunciare means like
Anyway, I say no to myself.
You sacrifice.
To go and having my date on a Saturday evening. And those
meeting the friends.
weeks, like even meeting friends, for me would be like, I don't know, 10, 15 bucks. And if you sum up that 15 bucks in a month, or if you sum up these dates that you're having with your love, which are very important, it's 50 bucks. And then for a month is 200 plus a friend, it starts to be 250 bucks that you say in a year can be 2,000 or 3,000. And all of a sudden my brain starts to think, hold on, how much more can I do with this 2,500 for a year or two if I sacrifice myself and I make my date much cheaper? I will make my date at home. I will start to open my brain and possibility and say, how can I make a date anyway on a cheaper level? How can I meet my friends on a cheaper level? Instead of going to have a drink, let's go and have a run. Let's go and do something that it's free, but still we meet each other and have fun. Yeah. So trying to always think about how can possibly save those money if it's not a necessity to be spent on whatever it is.
Yeah, and it's really good this what David is saying, because it's definitely not the fact that you shouldn't see your friends or you shouldn't have the date. You should definitely, because that's also a part of your mental state, in the sense that it's a part of life. You can't just isolate yourself, say I can't do anything, because you won't grow. But like David said, it's about seeing different possibilities. So we could have dates where we just went on a picnic and we just bought a piece of bread and some ham. That's it. You know, you don't have to go in an expensive restaurant. You can actually have actually even better quality time together when you're just on a picnic, you know. So it's just to say that find different possibilities within let's say a cheaper budget.
Yes.
And as well, very important is like phone bills and insurance companies. Like there's some insurance out there. I remember 2 years ago we had to change our insurances, and we saved like 2,000 or 3,000 Danish crowns. So I don't know how much is that.
For 400 euros.
Yeah, so
in
1 year, yeah. So on our yearly insurances, so those 400, wow, suddenly we had them available to actually pay for our SFM, and those money we know that they're spent in a good way, because they are spent, but they are most definitely all coming back, because it's an investment, it's an asset, because it's a knowledge that will bring us a lot of money. and already are bringing us. So it's really
and this
go ahead.
This mindset really brings you to infinity opportunity. This is what I really like.
Sure.
It's something that Robert Kiyosaki explained pretty much in a book, that the mindset of an employee and the mindset of entrepreneur are totally different. And when he was making the example that he had one rich father and one poor father, was simply because the rich father encouraged him to not take a paycheck, to not be on this level of safety that you think you can last for many years. Because this, beside that, is limiting your amount of income anyway. Because there's a boss that tells you how much you should earn, regardless how much value you give to the business. But beside that, is most important is that when you start to being as an entrepreneur mindset, you are really in charge for make your own paycheck. So all of a sudden, your brain needs to think differently and start to see, oh, okay, what I need to do to make myself a paycheck that will allow me to do this, this, and this, and this. So automatically your brain start to open and see possibility around you. Start to see, okay, oh, maybe I can do this. Oh, maybe I can do a business with my friend, which is a solo entrepreneur. Maybe I can join him, or maybe I can start my own online business, or maybe I can hold on. There is a property course business where they are teaching you free stuff. Go and learn it. Get yourself knowledge that you can always use them for any benefit that you will bring to other people. And this one is the best thing that I like from Robert, that he tells, if you are stuck in a paycheck that is run by a company or a boss, so you are an employee, your mindset will never be like an entrepreneur. So you will always live into this safe limit. You think you're safe, but you're always in this trap of the rat race, where you are working for money rather than the money working for you.
Yeah.
And sadly, which is the case that I saw it in my family, you start to see that people, as they get older, they might love their job at the beginning, but as they grow older, they start to feel like it's a heavy stuff. They start to go simply because it's needed to make them survive with the simply
to pay all the expenses, right?
So you start to see that the last 10 years you're really looking forward to go on this pension.
Yeah, this is your father. In December last year, he went on pension, and for the last, I think, 3 years, he was like, wow, now I'm finally going. I'm finally going.
And now after I finish it, then I can start to do all the things. Then I can. So they have been waiting for 40 years of working life for finally start enjoying life. Now, to me, that's not the life I wish to anyone, and especially to me. So I'm exactly on this journey for a reason, bigger than anything. And the best part is that today, I'm looking forward to share this with people to change for real their life, because it is possible. It's all about how we approach things, how we make our brain think about everything.
Yes, I just want to add on one thing, and I think that this is a very good kind of exercise to do for yourself. Is ask yourself, am I first paying myself, or am I first paying all my expenses? In the sense, when you get a paycheck, so when you are an employee and you get your paycheck, what do you do first? You pay all the expenses, you pay all the taxes, you pay all of these things, and then you see what is left. And in that little bucket which is left of the money, then you say, okay, now I really deserve that dinner, or I really deserve to go shopping, and I really deserve to go and see my friends and, I don't know, coffee date, whatever. And then in the end of the month, they are gone, and then I have to do exactly the same the month after. Except if you maybe try to put it the opposite way around, so you think, like Davide said, as an entrepreneur already, even though you're already an employee, it doesn't matter. It's right now, like right here, right now. Try to ask yourself, so what would I like for the next month? What would I like to do? And then you start writing down. You say, okay, I would love to go on that weekend trip and rent a boat and go with my friends. I would love to, I don't know, buy a present for my mom. I would love to. And then you write down all of these things that you actually would like. And then you start thinking, okay, how can I afford it? How can I make that happen? So instead of thinking, no, I can't buy that present for my mom because I actually don't have that money, or I can't actually go with my friends because, yeah, this month is just a tough month. I have to pay my insurance. Maybe next month I can do that. Then you actually limit yourself constantly instead of trying to actually say, okay, fine, this is what I would love to do. So this is my kind of dream scenario of the next following month. Oh, and then you think to yourself, okay, now let me find somewhere, something that I can earn money so that I can do those things. That's already in your mindset thinking differently. Yeah. And I remember that we used to do this, especially in the beginning when we started dancing together. We had zero, how do you say, economical help from our parents. And my parents, they actually could, they just chose not to. They didn't want it to support us because I'm from a big family with 6 children, and they couldn't do the same for all 6. And my parents in Denmark, we are a lot about equality, yes. So if they can't do for 6 kids, they wouldn't do for any of the kids, and this is fine. So this is their way of kind of bringing up us up, and I understand and I respect that. And Davide's parents, they just really couldn't afford, even though they actually wanted to, but they just had zero possibility to help us. So basically what we did is that we said, okay, fine, we need to find money for our dancing. And like literally we did anything we could. So we said, we wrote down, okay, I want to go to this competition. I want to have this competition wear, like new dress, new shoes, all of these things that we needed, lessons, flights, all of these things that we needed in order to do our competition. And then we just started, okay, let me I went out with newspapers. I was sewing dresses for other girls. Davide, he did plumbering, then you did gardening, then we did cleaning, then we did, he did painting. We found a friend of my mom, which she needed to paint her living room. Davide went painting it, like all of these things. Then in the end, we could actually do all of these things. And we did that for years, and it's just about expanding and finding out, okay, how can I do it? How can I do it? Okay, I need that, I need that, I need that. So,
and it comes down to two main factors: discipline and priorities.
Yeah.
Because if you have those things, you're in a good, let's say, position.
For sure.
So create discipline that build you in a better way. Become like really is your asset. Discipline is absolutely something that you can't accomplish things without a strong discipline to stick to it until you become successful. And that's also my approach that I came into SFM. Is I asked myself when the biggest was the biggest investment of my life. So I say, instead of doubting myself, I knew that this was something that I was searching for a long time, and that I'm gonna be successful no matter how long time it will take me to achieve success. And with that approach, that exactly the reality that came across is just that you go all in. You go all in and you spend those 15, 20 hours a week on building this side business that will change your life forever. And you sacrifice friendship, family, our time in some cases. We have been suffering on a weekly basis sometimes that we didn't spend time with each other as much as we would like to. So it all comes about priority and trying to adjust somewhere. Okay, we mistake that this week we didn't prioritize. Okay, let's put half an hour, 3 hours where we spend time with each other. So you start to...
It's learning by doing,
build, yeah, of course. We build small habits that start to make everything in balance. And there where you feel successful anyway, regardless how much money you got in your bank account.
Yes. So actually, this thing about dividing your salary right now is something that I think that you can do from day one. Like from now, you're watching this webinar or you're watching the replay or whatever. From this moment on, try to actually divide your expenses in those 3 buckets and start to change your mindset already as an entrepreneur. Instead of thinking, oh, I can't do that and that and that, try to find a solution on how can I, you know. So you start searching, you start spreading, you start opening your eyes. It's just and actually it's not only regarding money, it's regarding anything. It's even regarding time. Let's say, oh, I don't have time for that, or I will do it tomorrow, you know. No, how can I find time for it, you know? So it's actually goes for many different let's say aspects of your life, but definitely trying to opening and your eyes and seeing things from a different perspective really can change a whole lot, like how your situation will be. So so that was kind of what we had for this day, or for this week, let's say, actually, for this weekly webinar. Yeah, we could talk hours and hours and hours on this subject, because it's something which is really, really dear to us. Like really, it's very, how to say, profound into us. And I think, first of all, because of our family situations, we've seen how they have suffered, and we just know so clear in our mind that we don't want to go in that way. And yeah, I think that's why we are so
big deal,
passionate about this.
Yeah.
So anyway, Dorothy, if you have any kind of questions or anything from during this week, you can just jump out and
share your wins. Anything great positive that's happened in your life?
Well, everything is going even better than I expected.
Great. So nice to hear.
So yeah, I think I found happiness doing things I've never done before, and I've never thought that going into my own soul and thinking through, you know, that kind of stuff, like what am I doing in this world, how can I be happy, how can I make others happy, makes me feel really fulfilled. And everything what's happening to me at the moment is like taking back all of these, you know, good behavior that I gave to others, and now it's coming back to me. I feel like that, and because I am happy because of that, I can always give that happiness to others, even with more strength at the moment, because I am more happy now. So and it's like a circle. So when you go into the room where, for example, we've got 20 people and all of them are sad, and when you go into the room and when you laugh, and when you, for example, say to them that, look, we've got really brilliant day today, it's sunshine, and you know, everything happened to me, it's really good, and you start talking to them, and then you start spreading that happiness, all of a sudden 20 people are happy because you are happy. And because I understood that, now I think that the circle just made that 360 degrees, and now I'm just receiving that happiness, which is brilliant. So I'm just more willing, even more willing to give that happiness again back to others. And that's really brilliant. And thank you that you said about the money. What I can tell that I already have maybe more than 5 buckets. So with money, I think I'm fine. With me is more problem with time. So I have to tell you that with me is more the time. So I have to, I think, write down the plan that today, for example, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do the list and then devote, for example, 2 hours for that, 1 hour for that, half an hour for that, and then keep that schedule, and then it will be fine. But because I don't have that schedule yet, so
Okay, cool.
it's a little bit problem to me for that, to manage that time. But I will do that. I will do that.
So first of all, I want to share with you that I can see the light shining out of you.
Yeah.
So it is a great positive.
Yeah, you look great. You look great.
Influence others
Thank
is
you.
a great thing.
Yeah.
Positively, even better. And the other factor that is about managing time, already that you are aware, is a big step. So you just need taking action now.
Yeah, now you need to create that schedule that you just spoke about, because that's really, really, really powerful. And I can tell you 100% because we did the same thing 2 months ago, I think. Now it is that we basically created that weekly schedule, time slot, everything. That hour we're doing exactly this, and it's so much more focused, the time that you're actually spending on that, and it's really a game changer.
And it will not be perfect on your first day.
You will go in and out of it for sure,
will
but
see how you can develop from week by week, and you have an average of, okay, working hour is 30, how many hours I need to sleep, how many hours it's requiring cooking and eating. Those things are
time with
vital,
your son and all of
because
these things.
it's part of each and everyone's life. What is the other stuff is that prioritize anytime, like as I mentioned already, I think Netflix,
social media,
scrolling can be very, very addictive,
time consuming,
and time consuming. So
news.
I'm very happy that you are aware. You just need to find some time where you are dedicate yourself 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, where you really go and put those things down and have a better idea how you can possibly getting better into that.
Yeah.
Really awesome stuff. So I think that's it for this week, huh?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Do you have any other things that you need help with or anything?
No, so far I think I just need to go through that new modules, and I need to finish all in funnel, because I had to leave the meeting and I need to watch the recording, so I have to finish that. And maybe next week I'm gonna have some questions, but at the moment it's fine, everything is okay.
Yes, it's really awesome you say this thing about the new modules, because actually that was what we spent the beginning half of this webinar, just talking about the new modules, and really going through them is really, really helpful. So I just started today actually with the module 3, because we did ours of obviously 1.5 years ago, and we just want to repeat and definitely go back and go through those modules, because there's new interesting insights from Stuart. So check it out.
Yeah, I will.
Cool. Very good, Dorothy. Nice to see you, and see you next week.
Nice to see you too. Yeah, definitely.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.